Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Adams Rite number 7130 series electric strike. The strike that I happen to have here is a dash 510-313, and we're going to go over what all of that means in just a moment. So the 7130 is part of their 7,000 series strikes, and the 7130 first of all is a replacement for the discontinued 7030 strike. It's a replacement for the 7030, the 7530, and the 7830 series strikes, and is going to be complete with mounting plates, screws for attaching it, and wire nuts. Let's start at the beginning of this review of this strike. So the 7130, the thing that you'll notice immediately is the size of the faceplate. This is a 6 7/8 tall faceplate, and this is specifically used in an application. Well, you can use it in a new installation should you want a taller prep, but you probably won't encounter that in a new installation. The reason that someone is going to use this is because they are converting from an existing prep, and you require a taller faceplate in order to do that. Okay, let's go over that. The large faceplate is designed to cover the strike opening when converting from a Adams Rite bolt style latch bolt. When you're converting it from a bolt to a dead latch. So here's a scenario. You have a single door or even a pair of doors. This is also compatible and will fit into the edge of an inactive door where you would currently have a strike. So you or your client says, I want to be able to electrically control that. Remote electrical control of a narrow style door, or a hollow metal door for that matter, equipped with a dead latch, whether it be a 4500 series from Adams Rite, 4700, which I believe is discontinued, 4900 dead latch, or a cylindrical lock where it has a projection of a latch bolt that is either 1/2 inch or 5/8, not 3/4. Be very careful that you are not working with a lock that is a 3/4 inch length latch bolt. It's simply too large to fit into the keeper and will cause this not to work reliably, if at all. So again, the large faceplate is designed to cover a conversion from a bolt. Again, you might say, you or your client might say, I want to be able to buzz people in. Okay, so you've got a large cutout because you might be converting from a deadbolt. Maybe you already have a dead latch. In that case, you may not require such a large faceplate. But if you have a deadbolt that has a large faceplate to begin with, you need the 7130 so that you can convert it over, remodify the frame, remove all the existing prep, and then install the 7130. The 7130 features an extremely compact mechanism and is designed to fit into an aluminum jamb or an inactive door style. As deep as 1 5/8 it will work, and this is available in a variety of different electrical configurations. Before we get to that, field selectable, fail-safe or fail-secure. You can set this strike when you're installing it to operate either way per the installation instructions. What does that mean? In the event of power loss, there are two ways this will work when power is cut, either intentionally or unintentionally. Fail secure, when the power is cut, the strike is locked. Fail safe, when the power is cut, the strike is unlocked. So in the event of a power outage, it will either be locked or unlocked. Or in the event of cutting power or applying power, it will be either locked or unlocked. So fail secure means the door is secure when the power is out. That's common for a nursing home. You don't want those doors unlocked in the event of a power because you don't want them unlocked. There are other instances, like maybe a residential application, where you would want it to be unlocked in the event of a power. The fire department might need to get into the building. It's easier when that lock is unlocked. Obviously check code requirements for what's going to happen. But that's the two different ways this will operate. The case, dimensionally, is 3 3/8, 1 inch, 1 5/8 inches deep. So it's going to fit into a hollow metal door. The basic 7130 has a lip of proper length for a typical 1 3/4 door. That means the center line of the screw holes to the edge of the lip is perfect for a standard installation. Lip extensions are available. That's easy, that's no problem. This black piece here is the lip extension, and you can order longer lip extensions should that be required. You might have an odd condition where you've got a thicker than standard door. You might have a condition where you've got unusual casing or trim where the latch bolt's making premature contact. Whatever the case might be, you might need a lip extension. Those are also available. The strike opening is 5/8 by 1 7/16 by 1/2 inch deep. The bolt retainer jaw is stainless steel, and again, will accept Adams Rite dead latch, 45, 47, 4900 series, or cylindrical locks, 1/2 inch or 5/8, but 1/2 inch. If you have a grade 2 lock, a standard duty lock, it'll have a 1/2 inch bolt. If you have a heavy duty lock or a grade 1 lock, it's very possible it's going to have a 3/4 inch latch. And if you have a lock that's fire rated, that's specifically listed as fire rated, you're probably going to have a 3/4 inch latch. Common 3/4 inch latches, of course, are mortise locks. So this would not be appropriate whatsoever if you have a mortise lock. Okay, so the faceplate, 6 7/8 tall, as we said earlier, 1 1/4 wide. Available in 12 or 24 volt units, AC or DC. DC can run continuous and is considered silent operation. When someone says they want to buzz somebody in, that buzzing only occurs with AC operation, and that is intermittent. So obviously intermittent power is going to temporarily unlock a fail secure strike. Very typical. Fail secure strike, power's off. Strike is locked. AC wiring. Button, you hear a buzz at the strike, that's when the door is unlocked. Power is cut, strike is relocked. Very common application. Although DC is certainly prevalent in commercial applications. 12 volt configurations have an AC draw of 1.42 amps. DC continuous is 1/3 of an amp. 24 has AC intermittent amp draw of 0.74, and then 0.17 in a DC continuous. A standard package, again, is going to include the strike and shims, the mounting plates. Now, there is a link below this video to a document called Template. Let's start with template. There's two. There's template and instructions. So the template, which would be better, although it has dimensional properties there, it would be better called product brochure. The first page gives a summary of everything that I've pretty much just gone over. The second page is the real important part, how to order. Okay, how to order. So a hallmark of the Adams Rite line, and one reason why it's, I think, easily approachable from anybody looking at Adams Rite hardware, whether you're an expert of hardware, you might be an installer, you might be a specifier, you might be an architect or a distributor. Their legend of how to order runs across their entire system of hardware. So let's go right to it. 7130 is what we're dealing with because, as you see from that first column, this is a flat faceplate. If you were installing this in the inactive door of a pair of doors, you might have a radius edge. You'd want the 7131. That's easy. Step 2 is what's the voltage you're going to run, because you're going to build that next part number, that next part of the part number, a triplet of numbers. You'll have to know what voltage you're running. If you don't know what voltage you're running, or if you don't have power already determined and you're going to pick up a transformer, lower right-hand corner, rectifier transformer is there, hardwired and plug-in. That decision needs to be made. What voltage? 12 is very common, 24 is common. This is a 510 is what this strike is. So it's a 24 volt. You have to make that decision. The next part number in that triplet is current and duty, AC or DC. You have to decide what's happening with that. Okay. A DC strike with a rectifier attached for use on AC current. So if you are certainly going to be applying AC current, 100 line voltage. If you're going to run a DC strike, you have to have that 4603 rectifier, which converts AC to DC. It's something that, which I just accidentally have here on my desk. This 4603 will have to be ordered and wired in. Okay, simple instructions. There's just 4 leads, obviously 2 and 2. So you'll need that rectifier. If you want a DC strike and you've got AC power, you need a rectifier. It's that simple. It's very likely you have DC power coming in that's already transformed down to 24 or 12 volt, or 16 volt for that matter. The next part of the triplet is the feature. Fail secure, fail safe. This did say it was field selectable. It is, but you can order it preset to where you want, and it generally ships that way. The factory ought not ship something, even though it's, knowing that it's field selectable, there have been times in the past when the factory has shipped it the opposite condition, so always do a reality check before you start connecting wires. What I mean is, you know, it's noted here what this is set up for. The factory might take this off the shelf, make the internal changes, and then neglect to make the change here. Just do a reality check. Look at everything before you wire it up. The next set of the part number is simply the finish. Let's go back to the features. Fail secure or fail safe. 7 or 9 fail safe, fail secure monitor means that there could be a trigger inside of this strike that basically will communicate back to something that says the latch is either nested in the keeper or it's not. If you want to know the position of the lock in the strike, you can have a monitor strike. Not uncommon either. Healthcare, certainly going to want to know if your door is physically closed or not, or if there's been some tampering with the strike, meaning someone went out and they took a slip of paper and they slipped it in over the latch so they could easily pull the door back open. The monitor would defeat that sort of workaround. The next part of the part number is the finish. Clear anodized aluminum is 628. This is, of course, 313, dark bronze. 335 is black. Okay. The last part of the part number is the lip extension. This is a 00 version of the strike, so we've got the standard door center line to jam edge, 1 1/16 or less. You just change that part number as you need to change the lip extension. Options that you might need to consider with this will obviously be a rectifier, obviously a transformer. Lip extensions might be required. Obviously a deadlock body. If you don't have a dead latch, a dead latch body should you not have one. You might also need the hardware that goes along with the dead latch body. Okay. Now, their link to the instructions. It basically gives all of the wiring instructions and shows it quite simply and quite plainly how to go about wiring it. It's simple. There are 2 wires. That's all there is to this. This is a 510 strike, and what that means is that it is 24 DC. So these wires, there's nothing special about these wires because it's DC voltage. There's no polarity here. All right, so they're not indicated as colors, so to speak. Just DC voltage. Apply the wires. Now, in the installation instructions, as you review that information, it's mostly informational until you get to the solenoid data, which is very helpful because what you've got is indications of what the wiring look like on the solenoid, so you'll be able to identify what you have by that installation instruction there. Meaning, what do the wires look like? They tell you if the strike is what voltage and then what type of AC or DC it is, which is on the bottom of page 2, by the way. Page 1 is important because it gives you all the physical dimensions which you are going to likely need to use when installing it, and that will come likely with the mounting clip that's included. These are available, these mounting clips. This one is available or ships with a flat style, and this type will work with either a flat or a radiused edge. They also manufacture different clips when you have a beveled edge door, and it is not an option, interestingly enough. That should be an option with that, but if you have a beveled edge door and you're going to apply this to an inactive door with a beveled edge, which you really wouldn't, actually. Maybe you do. I don't think you would. It would generally be radius or square. You'll need different mounting brackets for it. Page 1 shows you how to prep everything. Refers to the wire nuts that are included. It's going to give you back to page 2. It's going to show you how to wire everything. Okay, very typical, very common. It'll have different leads if you've got a monitor strike, which is in the upper right-hand corner of page 2. That will need to be wired back to your panel. Field reversing of your fail-safe, fail-secure is indicated there as well. And quite frankly, when you get the strike open, it becomes quite obvious how that works in a fail-safe or fail-secure sort of condition just by the latch arm and its position within the lock. So, if you have any questions on this Adams Rite 7130 electric strike, feel free to reach out to us. The Adams Rite 7000 series strikes are going to be basically, the overview is, all of this is pretty much the same. It's the same. Faceplates will vary, is the bottom line, based on the application of it. The 7100 will give you a 4 7/8 with radiused corners, and by the way, this 7130 has radiused corners. The 7110, a different version with a 10 1/4 inch faceplate. Moving past the 7140, you've got a 7130, you've got the 7140, very common for hollow metal sorts of installations because it's 4 7/8 and square corner. 7160, same gizmo with a radiused corner, that wouldn't be uncommon as well. And it just continues to go on where you're going to be able to work with like a 7170, which will tolerate a 3/4 inch latch projection. And then the fire-rated version of this. And then Adams Rite gets into strikes that you're going to be able to use for rim-mounted exit devices. They've got some neat ultraline strikes that have a different mechanism for keeping the unit locked. People love Adams Rite, and I think really it's because, well, for me, the line is very approachable, understanding Adams Rite, but it's reliable, and it operates predictably, and I think the reason that they're literally ubiquitous is because it's a confluence of easy to understand, reliable operation, and very economically priced. That's the bottom line. Heavy-duty strikes that are used in applications are orders of magnitude more expensive than the standard Adams Rite strike. But people have come to trust Adams Rite because it's a good quality product, is the bottom line. I happen to be partial for all those reasons, but also because every time that I've contacted technical support, I get an answer. Whether it's a day or a day and a half or a half a day, they always give me an answer. And that's really important because not everything is necessarily published when it comes to technical data. But getting the answer is the key to the matter. So if you're considering a new installation where there's a small one or two door opening application, or you're considering a substantial project, Adams Rite's a good option. You want to be able to maintain the work. You want to be able to protect the investment of hardware down the road. Published parts drawings, important. Access to technical support. Availability of replacement parts. If you have any questions on the Adams Rite 7130 series strike or any other Adams Rite product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.